Hey, that's not rubbish.
Hey guys, it's Lexi, and this is That's Not Rubbish, the one and only podcast on all things upcycling. And today we have Mr. Zach Thoeny, the magic behind After Always Apparel.
Hi guys, how are you?
You've definitely seen this face before. Big on TikTok, so not only do you make the coolest sets, all things loungewear and streetwear out of blankets, tablecloths, you name it, but you're a TikTok superstar.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a lot of adjusting. I don't know. Sure, I'll take that one. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
take it and run.
Yeah,
We'll have to talk about that.
for
Um,
sure.
yeah, I'm excited to hear about you, your story, and just kind of the things that you can't always say on in a process video on TikTok.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Um, but before then, well, we'll get into some good news to cure the eco doomies. This one's also a social media based one. 4 words: Black men with gardens. Zach, you're a man who is very active on social media, so you can understand how social media shapes the world around us, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's what Nielsen Zipicano was thinking when he started the Instagram page Black Men with Gardens. So to kind of shift the way society views black and brown men, as opposed to like the memorials or kind of like the mugshots that go viral when police brutality happens. So it's a beautiful initiative to control the narrative and show some wholesome black family image community and also make gardening look fun. Like the pictures are so happy, everyone looks so happy, they're smiling, peace, love, plant power.
That's
So
awesome.
it's a really cool page. I'll link it in the description. You guys will have to check it out.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out. I love me some gardening. My fiance has about 50 plants throughout the apartment, so I don't
You
know. It livens everything up. Never have too many plants, I guess.
can never have too many plans. That's the spirit. Yeah, she's gonna love the page.
Yeah, really. I'll show her. I'll show her all the goodies.
All the goodies. Don't tempt her with a good time. But
Nope.
so last episode we had Janelle Abaddon, who's a bit of like a behind the scenes creator, a very mysterious, quite the opposite of yourself. So I asked her like some fun, more general, kind of like I guess icebreaker questions to sort of like warm her up. And yeah, it was a good way to like get to know her on like a more personal level. So why don't we warm you up like that? Is that cool?
Yeah, for sure. Fire away.
All right. So first up, they're like silly questions. So if you could bring back any fashion trend, what would it be?
Uh, Probably, like the '90s wrist sweatbands and the headbands and all that. Just the, like the neon era. I don't know why. Like all the big hair, like the women with the huge hair. I love that for some reason. I still do. I don't know why.
You would thrive.
Yeah, exactly. Just get a little gel in there and I'll be set.
I like it. That's a good answer. It's I'm thinking like Let's Get Physical music video by like Olivia Newton-John or just
Yeah,
yeah.
all the spandex, all everything. Exactly.
Metallic, yeah. I like it. Okay, number two. If a movie was made for your life, what genre would it be and who would play you?
Wow.
You know?
That's an interesting one. I would say it'd be a it'd be like a drama thriller because a lot of my stuff is I don't know, there's a lot of drama going on, but at the same time I still get outside and do some stupid stuff. I do a lot of cliff jumping and all that kind of
Ooh.
weirdness. And then mm, maybe like a young Matthew McConaughey or something.
I like the confidence, Zach. I like it. All right, all right, all right.
Exactly, yeah, Fast Times kind of vibes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He's like one of my favorite people, so excellent choice. I think he's great. And
Yeah,
I could see it. I could see it. He's got the same curls.
yeah, exactly. I just gotta tuck in a white shirt and some 501 Levi's and we're the same
Same.
person.
The same. Exactly.
Yeah, I can dream.
Okay, question number three. If you had to delete all the three apps from your phone, which ones would you keep?
Oh
And
man.
this is like also the ones that Apple like puts on your phone, like the camera, like mail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would say I would keep the phone call app. I don't really need to text very much, but I would keep phone calls so I can hear people's voices.
Good
Keep
idea.
the camera to take pictures and videos, and then uh, probably like a Sudoku or some sort of word game, just like when I'm on the plane or something like that. Just a fun little game.
Everyone needs their fun little game. A little
Yeah,
airplane mode app.
yeah, like a Wordle or something, or maybe Temple Run, something like that.
Excellent. I've been getting into mahjong lately. Mahjong. I don't know how to say it. Like the
Um,
Japanese tile game. Very
yeah,
fun. Recommend.
it looks pretty intense, actually. I don't know. Yeah.
They time you, it freaks you out. Yeah. Well, last but not least, before we get into the nitty gritty stuff, if you could add anyone to Mount Rushmore, who would it be and why?
That's crazy because I'm about 30 minutes from Mount Rushmore.
That's why I asked. Yeah.
Ah, shoot. Um, man, that's a hard one. There's so many amazing people out there. Maybe like Stephen Hawking or one of the big science minds, Einstein or something like that.
There you go. They deserve some representation in the mountain.
Yeah, well, and I mean, all their ideas and everything, I think, forged a lot of how we get around the world today. So I don't know. I think it'd be cool.
I agree. They set the blueprint. I like that answer.
Yeah,
Well done, Zach.
thank you.
Yeah. Because, yeah, you revealed to me when we talked before this that you live in South Dakota. And I don't hear
Oh,
that often.
there's not a lot of people out here. There's not much out here, actually. A
Yeah,
lot of
like you guys have Mount Rushmore, which is kind of cool, but I don't know if it was north or south, but I've heard that like the Dakotas like aren't real. So like what's it like in South Dakota?
it,
So
they're real. They're very real in the sense. So I live in Rapid. There's I think a little over 100,000 people now. It was pretty weird coming out here because I grew up just outside of Denver. I went to a high school, public high school with like 4,000 kids. So huge, huge demographic, everything. And then I came out to Rapid, and there's a bunch of hills and a bunch of trees, and that's about it. It's beautiful because I'm really outdoorsy. I still have my nerd tendencies. I love like rock hounding, and there's amazing rocks, amazing fossils around here. So it's cool. It's quiet. Um, but in sense of like fashion and my clothing, there's not really anything going on. That's kind of why I look towards social media. There's like flea markets. I tried to join a flea market. I sent a request to this lady. I was like, "Hey, I make these bags. I make clothes and stuff. Do you think I could set up a stand like at the Saturday flea market kind of thing?" And she came back and vetoed it. And she's like, "No, you can't sell bags at the flea market." I don't know. I think she misinterpreted the whole thing, but yeah, I was kind of bummed out by that. I couldn't even get into the flea market. And I thought it
it's
was kind
probably
of
not real.
yeah. I don't know. It's whatever.
That is weird, but I guess it's good for like hunkering down and creating and then yeah, like escaping. And then yeah, I guess it kind of adds up with the TikTok success. So
Yeah, it helps. I
yes.
mean, I've always been pretty. I like my solitude. I like hanging out. I find joy in dancing in a room by myself to some weird music and creating things. So yeah, it's been a fun process. It's
Well, we can talk fashion. I would love to. I don't get to talk fashion with guys much either because I mean you're what my only second guy guest. So welcome, thank you. And two, you can dress. Like you dress great.
yeah. I mean, uh, all of my fashion sense and style just comes from watching a bunch of ASAP Rocky music videos and being obsessed with Tyler the Creator. And I don't know, I've always liked. I grew up snowboarding, so I always liked the baggier kind of fit. I've always been super tall and skinny, so I don't know, baggy suits me a little better. And it really, I honestly struggled this summer making like summer outfits and whatnot because I just really like baggy, heavy stuff. And I mean, I'll walk around all summer with a beanie on if I can, kind of thing. So now that it's transitioning to fall, my outfits make a little bit more sense. So I can keep creating the stuff that's in my head instead of trying to shift it towards the correct season, you know? So that helps. I definitely enjoy the fall winter kind of vibes.
All right, so you're thriving. Good, good. So like
Yeah.
what's your like go-to fall outfit?
I really like layering stuff. I get I thrift a lot of like double XL cotton t-shirts, and I'll usually just put a hoodie on and throw a shirt on top of it, and then I love my white shoes. I have like 7 pairs of white shoes, and then, yeah, just, like, usually a beanie or a hat to match, and I'm good to go.
Nice. Well, what are you wearing today? Tell the fans.
I've got a white fuzzy hoodie that I'm planning on wearing to my next fashion show. I've got some, like, 6-year-old, I think they're from PacSun sweat shorts.
Nice.
Uh, I've got a Baker hat, which is a skate brand I found at the thrift store, and a pair of white tube socks. That's about it.
Very nice. You sound
Little cozy fit.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, King. And like, I guess like in general, like how often like would you say like male trends like come and go?
Oh man, I don't know. I have beef with trends. Like I don't know. I've seen a lot of videos on Instagram, people walking around. What's the worst trend you've ever seen? Or what trend is in style that is going to go out of style? And it's hard. Obviously, like the whole baggy jeans, skinny jeans is always going to come and go. I don't know. I think the sweatsuit stuff was huge in like the 90s and all those track suits. And then you get into the 2000s and it's just these weird, crazy colors. Most of it cycles back, I'd say, every, you know, 3, 4, 5, 50 years, 60 years. It kind of just does a loop. Like I said, all my 90s big hair will probably be another thing in about 20 years, maybe.
Hopefully sooner.
I hope. Fingers crossed. Um, Yeah, I don't know. Trends are weird because fashion, I look at it as art, and you ask somebody like, "Well, what art is trending right now?" And there's obviously the popular ones, but art is still art, and it's so individual. And to say, "Well, whoever wears skinny jeans just looks god awful in skinny jeans," I don't know. It's too big of a word to say what's trending, what's cool, what's not. Because I mean, I've seen people put on, like, bags that just look super fly. Like, there's certain people out there that they have the confidence, they have the swagger about them, and they can wear whatever they want.
Confidence is the ultimate trend, right? Like ultimate
Yeah, exactly.
accessory.
That's what needs to keep trending is confidence and individuality, I think is important.
Speaking of that, individuality and confidence, like do you create most of your personal closet pieces? Like are you just a one of a kind guy through and through?
Usually, I like to add a little something, something, so I don't know, I get a lot of comments, people say, "Oh my gosh, I bet your closet looks insane," like, "I bet you have the craziest outfits," and I sell all my pieces, so most of the stuff I wear is, like, 4-year-old thrifts or I wear inside out crew necks. Most of it, I add a little patch or I like to, like, hand paint bleach stuff, like, I'll intentionally thrift a lot of, like, baggy, dark clothing so I can go through and bleach paint it, add something here, add something there.
Mhm.
But for the most part, I add a little bit of touch. I wouldn't say they're, like, completely made from scratch for me, but as my collection builds and I sell some things I, like, need to keep just because 'cause they're too cool, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a little something something in each outfit I'm wearing.
A little something something. You work it in.
Just yeah.
That's so tasteful of you. Right, very cool. Well, I mean, as a big fan of comfy clothes and like fun patterns, not so much a neutral girl, I really do love your pieces. I mean, like, the love the materials you opt for, lots of blankets, bedding, towels, and you've recently taken on the puffer vest, which is impressive.
Yep, that was a fallacious attempt. I had no idea there was down feathers in there, and I started cutting it open. The whole sewing room was just flooded. I almost put on a mask, but yeah, that was fun.
Almost put
That
on a
was a
mask.
It was a lot. It was crazy. I just locked myself in the room with a vacuum. Like every 10 minutes, I'd have to do a circle around the room. Yeah, it was
Turn
good.
the fan off, everything. It's
Yeah.
like a pillow fight. Yeah. So let's go to the beginning. Like, how did you get into upcycling?
So when I was living in Colorado, I was getting into fashion with my buddy. We started doing screen printing,
Mm,
and then I fell in love. And my girlfriend, fiance now, said, "Hey, you want to move to South Dakota?" We'd been dating for maybe 6 months, and long distance. She was, states away, getting her nursing degree,
wow.
and I was just like, "Yep, let's go for it." I've always just wanted adventure. I don't like the predictability. I don't like life to be super predictable. So I was like, "All right, let's go." Um, Moved out to Rapid, which is where I am now, and I started. It all started with YouTube. I've always liked watching YouTube videos. I've always liked the process of seeing people learn other things and teach other things, and it surprised me how many people would have the same problems. Like,
Hmm.
it's a car problem. I have this specific car. You can search that specific car, specific year. You'll find a video. Someone somewhere has had the same problem. So I
Hmm.
always thought that about YouTube. And I started watching YouTube videos. I got really into like the old grandma quilting videos, like just
Yes.
the technique, the cuts. I thought it was super cool. And mind you, I drove out here with whatever I could fit in my van. And that was it. And one of the things that I brought was my sewing machine.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, I think I want to try this. I go through fads of different things. I was obsessed with a kendama, which is like a Chinese yo-yo. I was obsessed with Rubik's cubes. I was obsessed with rock climbing. I was a rock climbing instructor for a few years. A whole bunch of different stuff. So I was like, all right, let's learn something new. So I went to Joann Fabrics and I spent way too much money on fabric. It was like $80. And I decided I wanted to make a backpack. And I have it on my wall still, actually. It's pretty cool. I still use it, but I got done with it. It took me like a week. And I
Hmm.
looked at this, I was like, "This is an $80 backpack. Like, this is crazy." Like, I spent so much money on this just for one backpack. Like,
It's like
why?
the North Face. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not designer. Like, what is this crap? So I'd always liked thrifting, but more for like personal outfits.
Right.
And I started looking around at the thrift store, and there were all these shower curtains, drapes, tablecloths, blankets, and I started finding all these like really old, and it made me think of the quilting stuff. These really old like granny throw blankets, like woven cotton blankets, super outdated. No one wanted them. So
Yeah.
I took them home. I made a couple duffel bags, and then I was done with those bags. And I was like, "Wow, this is great! I only spent $5 on the bag. I have something brand new that no one was going to use the blanket for. It was going to end up in a landfill probably anyways because it's an old granny blanket." And it just kind of snowballed from there. It just kept going, and I just kept experimenting. Like that puffer jacket, like, that's the first time I'd ever tried anything like it. And as long as I keep messing around and experimenting, find some new avenue, some new way to upcycle, you know. People always tell me I should make socks. I don't know how I would do that, but maybe I'll try it. Like there's so many avenues in fashion.
Please, please let me know when you do. But yeah, I mean, you cracked the code, right? Because I mean, we've said it before, I think like first episode, like towels, sheets, tablecloths, they're all just giant pieces of fabric like you would buy at Joann Fabrics, you know? So it's like win, 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 win.
Yep. And they're super individual. Like I said, most of these were super old granny blankets. Half of them haven't been in production for 10 plus years. So you get this beautiful piece of fabric and you get this crazy texture, this crazy feeling, this crazy textile look to it. Like it's all super individual.
Yeah, no one else has it. Except maybe some grandsons out there, but
Oh, yeah.
I know we get to see a lot of your creation process through the process videos you post. Thank you, by the way. I love process videos. But tell us something we don't know. Like, where do you get these unique materials? You thrift them, obviously, but like, what's dig deeper on the thrift flip process?
Well, usually in the Midwest, everyone is very slow to getting open and everything. So usually I get to the thrift at 12, I go to the bigger thrifts like Goodwill, Salvation Army, and then at 1 o'clock, there's a locally owned thrift store that from 1 to 3 every single day, the entire store is 50% off. So I'll sit down, walk through the store, 3, 4 times, find a cool tablecloth, find something funky. And usually I go in mind of just looking for a material, not really what do I want to make. Because I think if I go for what do I want to make, my mind's going to be a little more closed off to sizing, and it's going to dictate my decision making a little more in terms of what I want out of the fabric. So I go in with an open mind. I usually try to get 3 or 4 good sized um, pieces, again, with no idea in mind. And then I get home, I lay them all flat out in on my sewing room on the ground, and I just stare at them for, I'd say, an hour, honestly. And I have a couple templates. I'll like lay a template out, see if something will work this way or that way. But the process videos, you see a lot of the sewing, you see a lot of the big steps, and that's my favorite part of the whole process is actually sewing. I hate prep work. I like the thrifting, but I hate cutting everything out. I'm left-handed. I've never learned to use right-handed scissors. I had to go buy special left-handed scissors because I would sit there and just like gnaw the fabric apart until I found left-handed scissors. Um, but yeah, usually what you don't see in the video is I sit down for a good hour or two just trying to configure in my mind how I want these pieces to look. So thrift, nothing in mind in terms of like how I'm gonna cut it out. Take it home, snap into brainstorming mode, do that for about an hour, and then I'll just sew everything to completion. And yeah, that's about it. It's just a whole lot of brainstorming that you don't see in the videos. And it's interesting, a lot of people say, "Well, how long does this take? I wanna do this." And, I mean, I learned all this from YouTube. Anybody could do this, like, nothing's stopping anybody, but they don't realize how long that creative process takes sometimes, and I think they just are like, "Oh, give me a template, give me a piece of material, I'll do this." But a lot of what they don't see, like I said, is the actual brainstorming, the actual coming up with something unique with the material, if that makes
No, it
sense.
does because all they see is like the 15-second video, like the 30-second version, so they think it's all 30 seconds. But by 30 days, yeah.
Yeah, I get one of my favorite comments is someone commented maybe last week and they said, "My ADHD brain can't focus on a video over 30 seconds. Thank you for showing me the process and squeezing it all into 20 seconds." And I was like, "Yep, exactly what I'm doing. I just want to hold your attention long enough so you can see
No,
the
that's
result."
literally me. Thank you.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it's been working, which is cool.
Okay, wow. Like, so with one blanket per se, like, what can you make out of it? Or how much can you make out of it?
It kind of depends on the size.
Right. That's fair.
Um, safely, I could say a queen or bigger. I could make a hoodie, like just a normal hoodie and sweats.
Unreal turnarounds. Yeah. That's
Yeah, it's
a
pretty
lot.
awesome.
And like, how
Yeah,
do you
exactly.
decide what you're gonna make out of it or turn the blanket into?
A lot of it depends on sizing. If it's big enough, I like to do pants or a hoodie. Um, yeah, I don't know. If it's smaller woven blanket, I like to do shorts with like the fringe coming off the bottom. If it's a thinner tablecloth, I usually try to do button ups or like sleeker kind of pants. Um, Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people will say, "Oh my gosh, you make the same thing. Like, why aren't you doing something else? You're using the same pattern." And every time I'm like, this is completely different than the last one. It's the same
What?
pattern. That one was like crazy purple and blue and had a poncho, and this one. So I don't know. I really like to do sweats and hoodie combos just because that's what I've always felt like the flyest in and the most comfortable.
You're
So
elevating the loungewear game, like, because you can wear these things every day, you can wear them everywhere, but that no,
exactly.
that's so crazy. Like, you couldn't even possibly make the same thing twice if you tried because it's so dependent on materials and there's only
Yeah.
one of each. unless
Yeah,
like
like,
this
good luck
special.
finding the same exact blanket at a different thrift store. You could probably order it. You could probably, like, image search it if you're really that, like, desperate to make the same thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's kinda nice because people will be like, "Oh, well, I want 2 of these," and I'm like, "Oh, that's the only blanket I found. That's the only one I'm gonna make. Sorry."
Sorry about it. That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, you're $8 short.
Well, okay, so like how long does it take to make a set out of a blanket?
I could crank it out in a day now. I could do a hoodie and pants in a day, but that doesn't include thrifting. That
Right.
doesn't include, like, how I learned how to do all this, but just brainstorming to completion, 5 hours at the minimum.
Right. That makes sense. That adds
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's
does it
not too
take longer to make a garment or a TikTok?
honestly, I will tell everybody right now, I hate making TikToks. I hate filming.
You heard it
Like,
here. You
I
heard
love the podcast, I love everything like that, but if I could just sit down and throw my phone in a ditch and sew, I would be so much happier. And everyone's like, "Oh, I need to see more of the process." So I'm like, "Oh, that ruins my process." Like, I have strong, like, workflow, and I have to pause and set up a camera here and pause and get the right angle, and takes an extra 10 minutes. Yeah.
No, it's not easy. Like, I mean, I've been seeing you on my For You page for probably a year now, over a year, and I've had friends who like didn't even know what upcycling was. Send me your videos. So,
Yeah, that's
what's it
true.
like being a TikTok superstar? Is it getting to your head yet?
No, thankfully not. I hope it continues to stay like that.
Yeah.
It was weird. So I wore one of, like, my more popular outfits, coming back from a fashion show I did in Virginia,
Mhm.
and we flew from Virginia to DIA and then drove back to Rapid, Denver International Airport, really big airport, and that was the first time I'd, like, had people walk up to me and, like, this flight stewardess, like, walked up to me and just showed me her phone. She's like, "Is this you?"
Oh
And I was like,
my god.
"Yeah," like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Yeah," I was like, "I yes," and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you make the coolest things," and I'm just as starstruck as she was. I was like, "Oh my thank you so much. This is amazing. Yeah, I'm blushing over here, like, this is phenomenal."
I mean, I'm
And,
blushing for you. I'm like,
like,
oh my god, that's so
oh,
cool.
yeah. The weirdest thing was we got out, there's, like, a tramway, once you get off the plane or board a plane on DIA, and we were getting off the tram, and I look over and this girl's literally, like, pointing at me, and she's, like, tapping her mom or whatever, and she's like, "That's a guy on TikTok. I've seen that guy on TikTok." And that was weird because I don't know, I don't see myself as an influencer, like, whatsoever. I think I'm just an artist in my mind, you know, like, I'm still Zach, I'm still just a weird, like, I still like my Rubik's cubes, like, nothing just like that, yeah.
Right.
Um, so it's just that was a weird trip because I'd never had people recognize me that I didn't, like, know. So that's been an adjustment, but I don't know, everyone seems pretty chill. I haven't had someone throw shade or nothing like that,
All
so
right, I'll beat them up. So, yeah, that's funny because my follow-up question was going to be, do you get recognized on the streets of South Dakota? But one day, soon enough, you will be.
not in Rapid, no, but yeah, out and about, sure. And a lot of people say like, "Oh, you must just have the coolest outfits, get compliments all the time." Ye No, not really. People pretty much just mind their own business, yeah. Like, "Oh, it must be so cool." I'm like, "This just looks like a normal hoodie, like, everyone just looks past it."
You haven't
It's
seen anything yet.
yeah, just wait.
You just wait.
Yep, make a kilt or something, then your jaws will drop. That'll be it.
No, I mean, it's really cool to see how you've like captivated the internet and you've been like beyond the upcycle community. Like, what is it? Like 121K on Instagram, like 825K on TikTok. That's nearly
Yeah.
1 million people watching you make cool stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll look at, like, the statistics of it, and a majority of it is just a bunch of old ladies that like my stuff and, like, seeing someone sew in this generation, and I love it,
Look
like,
at this young
when I
man.
get yeah, when I get a grandma comment or someone commented and said, like, "Oh my gosh, my grandma loves your stuff. And I'm like, yes, that's all I needed.
You
That's
need
it.
them on your side. They have
Yep,
numbers.
because they know what they're doing. They know what's up, and if I get their approval, I'm in.
They set the blueprint.
Yeah, they set the bar. They've been sewing for years.
But thanks for showing people that upcycling is cool. I,
Yeah, and I think what's fun is I'm inspiring a lot of people to do it.
yeah, not all heroes wear capes. Some wear blanket coats, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Here we are. And I mean, I know there's harder things to do in the world than like being on social media, but recording yourself, work, editing the footage, posting every single day on top of doing the actual work of upcycling, it's not
Yeah,
easy.
it's a juggle for sure,
Yeah.
and so insane. Like actually taking time for myself.
Oh my
I'll
God.
sew for 5 hours and it'll be 2 o'clock, and I sit back and I'm like, oh, I've had one glass of water and I haven't eaten anything today. Maybe like I need to change my priorities a little bit. So
Oh, and like, have you ever been like halfway through making a garment and you're like, oh my God, I forgot to record this?
oh yeah, one of my like bigger videos that blew up. I it was like the first sweatsuit I maybe ever made. I found a what's it called? Pendleton
Mhm.
blanket at the thrift for like I found two of them for 20 bucks, and I recorded me holding up the blanket, showing it, and then I made the entire thing, and I was like, oh dude, I didn't film one bit of this. So I just filmed like the after of what like me modeling it in the hallway, and it did fine. It really did. It didn't like it got a couple million views, whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
It's interesting because the video that blew me up got like 17 million views or something stupid, and now that's like the bar that is set. So it and again, I don't want to sound like cocky or like I need all these
No,
views,
you're
but
like the most humble person ever.
thank you. But
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, I achieved this 17 million. I only got 2,000 views. I don't know. I set the bar high for myself on accident. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, you're working hard and you're playing the game. It's not like you love making these videos and you love having a little camera watching you over your shoulder. But like
Right.
as a small business, how else are you going to get the eyes on you as
Right.
organically? Yeah.
Yeah. That's like I'm not at the flea markets. Obviously, that got vetoed. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of like personal marketing I can do. So all of it has to be online. And I could change that, but it's just such a bigger audience. There's so many more people on the internet that have the potential of seeing your things versus walking down the street. You could see 50 people and one person might do a double take and be like, "Oh, that was cool." But, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to be a customer eventually. It's interesting taking the transition of art, making a living off of art, and then creating a consumer that wants to buy your art, you know?
Right. Right.
It's weird. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, at least you're getting a little bit of everything, and with the audience, you're getting a little bit of everyone watching. So
Oh,
that
yeah,
wins.
definitely.
So, like, what's like the hardest part of this lifestyle of working remote, but then sharing your work with millions of people on the internet?
Um, Honestly, I would just say the traffic. It's fun for like the first 3 hours to see your stuff blow up, and then I just get anxious. I'm like, oh my gosh, is someone talking crap? Did
Mhm.
someone like flip this into something else? Like I get all these people making duets of my stuff, and I get some people like talking smack. Oh, he's ruining these blankets, and then I get other people like when you put something out there, it's it's hard to and I've learned to be better at it, but it's hard to shut off the judgment, I guess, in my own head. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And then
human.
a lot of it is a reminder of these are strangers. I don't know these people. Like, why does it matter? Kind of thing.
I genuinely don't think humans are supposed to be watched by millions of people. So I think
Yeah,
it's only human to like hear 100 positive things, hear one negative thing, and hold on to the negative.
right.
I mean, it's not
And
logical, but it's human, and we're not always
yeah,
logical,
exactly.
right? So,
One of my sisters or my sister, one of her phrases she always tells me, super simple, but she just says, "It's not that serious."
It's not that
And I,
deep.
like, sit back and I'm like, "Oh, yeah. It's really not that serious, like, w why should I care?" You know?
Yeah, and it's nothing personal, it's more a reflection on them, so the
Yeah. Yeah.
but, I mean, forget the editing and the posting, like, getting the algorithm to like you is the hardest. TikTok and I personally, we don't really get along, um, and then it could kind of feel like a waste of time to, like, make a whole video, get 1 like, time and energy a small business can't afford to lose, so I know everyone's, like, experience is different and, like, so random, but do you have any, like, TikTok success tips for any other small business people? Oh,
So, I was pretty obsessed for, I would say, like, 4 months on figuring out how to break the algorithm. I did a bunch of research, I followed all these people, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that." The biggest thing I learned is consistency. So, for about 4 months, I probably posted, like, 3 videos a day. Um, a lot of the time, people will go after, the trending sounds, the trending hashtags. Uh, I just my biggest thing I tell people is stay consistent and stay honest with yourself. Don't post a video with a song you hate. Like, if you're gonna make this video a vibe, make it your vibe, you
right.
know? Yeah, and a lot of people just wanna fit into that algorithm, like, "Oh, I need to use this song because it's trending, I need to use these hashtags because it's trending," and that does help a little bit, but people wanna see new videos.
Yeah,
People want to see original videos, something different, and I don't know, it catches my attention, you scroll through, "This is the biggest tip in 50 years." I'm like, "Okay, that's a good attention
yeah,
grab, but it has to do with safety pins or something." And you just go through all these, it's almost like clickbait videos, and then you find, like, a real honest video, someone took their time. It catches my attention a lot more. So, I would say just be honest and true to yourself. A lot of people just get caught up in, "Well, I need to fit into this, I need to fit into that." Don't fit in.
yeah,
Like, that's no fun. Like, if you run around letting others constrict how you post, and if you let others constrict how you live, you're gonna not be very happy. If you let others constrict how you post, it's just gonna be the same thing over again, you know?
exactly. And if, like, someone's looking for an upcycled video, they're probably not gonna look under, like, Charlie D'Amelio dancing hashtag, so it's like,
Yeah,
stay relevant.
exactly.
But it is
Yeah,
nice to hear that you did put so much work into it because I feel like nowadays it looks so easy. Like you see it in like a TikTok that
right,
like sorry, but it's kind of stupid sometimes. You see like
yeah,
these stupid TikToks get millions and millions of like, and it's just like they didn't really try all that hard. So I mean, like it is nice to hear that someone is putting in the work and their work has been rewarded, and it's not
yep,
us. It's not personal. Yeah,
yeah. Good things take time.
yeah,
If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it, you know?
exactly. And okay, so two more topics I want to cover before we wrap things up. One, you've talked about Miss Beyonce a few times. I
Yes.
need to hear about this wedding. I need to hear about her style. Like, are you planning on having a little upcycle at wedding?
A little bit. We're doing a destination wedding, pretty small, in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Oh my god, my favorite
Um,
place in the world.
it's gorgeous. I've been there once before. I just like the beach. We've always liked the beach. I'm gonna make my own outfit. I'm gonna do like a straight collar button up and then some nice pants. I'm thinking like an off-white, not exactly sand, maybe a little more brown to it.
Okay.
Gonna make some custom beaded like anklet foot things. We're all gonna be barefoot. We're all just a bunch of hippies vibing out on the ocean. But yeah, just a little touch of my outfit will be custom, maybe my groomsmen outfits.
Oh,
Just yeah.
I would love to see that. You're not gonna make the wedding dress?
No, I'm not good at
Well,
dresses.
that would be territory.
I can try, but I don't know if yeah, Kaya would be too happy about it.
Oh my god, wow, I'm so excited for Kaya. So do you like make a lot of pieces for her? Like, does she like, hey babe, like I found this new shirt, like can you please make it for me?
Yeah, I've I've got overalls I made for a lot of the things I'll make, they just don't fit me the right way. I mess up all the time, and Kaya's, "Oh, no, wait, that'll fit me. I'll take it." And she's got a little collection going.
I like her.
we actually went out to the in-laws this last weekend, and I had made some like party pants 90 vibes, so I made a matching pair for me. So we had some matching party
Oh,
pants.
his and hers. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, just some
Nice.
fun little stuff.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
And then, so we talked about Kaya's fashion week, her wedding. So,
Yep.
but you yourself have been a part of a lot of fun fashion shows, experiences. What have those been like? Yeah.
So I've only done one, which was fairly recently. Maybe a month ago, I went out to Virginia. I did the Culture Experience fashion show, kind of like a smaller little fashion show. That was my first go. It was really fun. I had a blast. Almost everyone that thought I was like a model. Like I was sitting watching everyone practice, and they're like, not trying to be a cocky or anything, but they're
No,
like, "What are you?
take
Why are you sitting down? Like, what? Aren't you supposed to be like practicing with us?" I'm like, "No, I'm the designer. Like,
it.
I'm just here to dress you guys. Like, that's about it."
Thank you.
Um, so that was really fun. It was a great experience. And then I have Denver Fashion Week that I got invited to. That's November 11th through the 19th. And then the 15th, they're having a full sustainable night, which is phenomenal for
Cool.
fashion. And yeah, they invited me out there, so I need to have 13 outfits ready. I've got 11. I'm kind of stressing about it. Still got time.
You got time. You got time.
Um, but yeah, I'm very excited. It's
I
gonna be
like this. I like this energy, Zach. I like it.
yeah.
What's
Oh
the
yeah, we're
fashion
gonna
show collection looking like?
very fall inspired. A lot of interesting, funky sweatsuits. I'm gonna do. I made a cropped hoodie that's got like fringe on the cuffs and around like the belly for a woman's outfit, and I did matching cargo pants. Um, I thought it was actually funny. I had Kaya try on the cargo pants, and she's like messing around with the pockets, and I was like, "What? What? Are you, what?" She's like, "These are women's pants, and they have pockets for once. This is phenomenal. Like I usually don't get pockets." So I was like, "Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Extra big pockets." But yeah, just a whole bunch of comfy clothes and vibes. I mainly focus on realistic fashion.
Mhm.
I don't know. I that last fashion show I went to, it was and all love to the designers. They're very unique, but it's just a lot of like points and weird contorted little things going on, and it looks cool on the runway, but are you gonna wear that
In the
around
grocery
town?
store, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to make a lot of things that people can see themselves wearing, and I think that's some of the draw of what I've been doing is it's unique, but it's also you could envision yourself wearing that,
I
to
agree.
a basketball game. I've had sports announcers ask for an outfit so they could
Hey,
look all stylish while they're, reporting the Mets or whatever.
you're
So
going to the Mets.
yeah. So that's fun. And I think it'll be an attention grab just because like I said, it's not pointy, it's not contorted patterns, they're simple patterns, and people want to wear normal clothing.
I
And to
agree.
see normal clothing on a runway, I think will be a refresher for everybody.
But no, I agree. I think like wearable art obviously is really cool because like fashion is kind of like an art form. But I also get like super optimistic when I see kind of like the more everyday pieces because like you're showing that it's possible for everyday use. Like upcycling doesn't have to be so niche and an
Yeah,
outlandish idea.
and it can be. I don't know. It boils down to the fast fashion stuff. Like you see these beautiful outfits, they're phenomenal. Like the designers are masterminds, but it's a one wear kind of thing. You're gonna wear it to the Met Gala next year, and that's it. And it's gonna hang in your closet. And I don't know. It seems like a waste to me. And to make fashion that's normal, like as much as there's gonna be high end, classy people at this Denver Fashion Week, majority is gonna be normal people just looking for something cool to wear, something different, and I'm trying to provide that.
And you will. No,
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Yeah, you're showing that upcycling can be an everyday thing and it's cool, it's possible. And I mean, you're doing that physically and on social media. Like, think about how many people you kind of looped into the conversation in the community. So, no, it's very exciting to see. And it's been so cool getting to know you better, Zach. Thanks so much. I can't believe it's such an honor seeing Mr. TikTok superstar on the show.
I appreciate you taking the time. It's been a vibe as always.
Thanks. I can't wait for the wedding. I'll looking out for the invite.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You'll be there
Thank
in
you, thank
Puerto Vallarta.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming, Zach. I can't wait to see the collection at Denver and what you make. We'll keep in touch on TikTok and socials.
Totally. Sounds great.
Gorgeous. And to everyone else, thanks for listening. Thanks for getting to know Zach better. If you do not follow him on TikTok already, which would be crazy,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? You're late. He'll be linked in the description. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to donate. It's a one-man brand bringing all these upcyclers to light. Check out old videos, new videos, and we also have social media, which is not as glamorous as Zach's, but come hang.
It'll get there. We're all one big community.
We
We're all
really
gonna
are.
go together. Yep.
Creativity community.
We're gonna change the world of fashion.
Someone's
Feel
gotta
better.
do it.